were so warm and kind to stand up for me. I am so undeserving of all of that. No, I appreciate it. Now, Robert is not, he is definitely telling the truth. He called me, he emailed me. He's one of those killing them softly. Robert, are you married? I never asked. Are you married?
I am.
Where's your wife?
Upstairs with the baby.
Okay, understandable now. So I get it. He emailed me, hey, I would like you to do this forward. I would like to meet you. And I'm thinking, maybe he's just doing this so that I can write him a forward in the name of my father, which it happens all the time. And he goes, no, it's you. Me? What do you want? What do you want with me? So now I'm balled up in the corner crying. What does he want with me? And he kept calling. He was so gentle in his approach. So gentle enough that I flew from Ohio to here to be with him today. So Robert, I thank you for your persistence and for you making sure I did this. This is one of the first times I've ever done anything by myself. It's usually easier when I have my siblings and my dad, and I can hide in the back of the room and, just go, okay, Dad, you do your thing. But again, I want to thank Robert. When he contacted me at kind of a low point. And, it's usually hard to admit to people, being Les Brown's daughter, that you have a low point, because people are like, no, your dad said shoot for the moon. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm sad today. So don't use my dad's quotes on me. It does not work. But he contacted me at a tough time in my life. And so I am thankful that I will use one of his quotes. I'd leap and grew my wings on the way down, which is why I'm here. And so let's give Robert a hand for his persistence, for him putting this event together, for having all of us here in the room. And honest to goodness, this is a selfless vision. Seriously, this is selfless. As we know, it takes a lot of work, a lot of energy. And so again, let's give him a round of applause to Robert J. Moore. Now, I also love stories of transparency, and being the daughter of Les Brown, I can't be super duper transparent all the time, but I'm getting there. Like one day I'm going to tell my full unedited story, so brace yourself. But I read the book. I read each and every one of the stories that are in the book, and it helped to deliver me. It helped to, get me to a new place in my life. So are the authors, can you raise your hand if you're in here, any of the authors? Let's give them a round of applause. Yes. Yeah, oh, we can do much better than that. Bring it up, bring it up. It's not easy. It is not easy telling your truth. Seriously, you're talking about your success. Those are easy, But you talk about, some of your lowest moments, some of the times that you failed, and you wrote it in black and white so that the world can see. But because of you and your testimony, you are indeed going to change lives, change the world, maybe take someone from committing suicide or help someone else not give up. So you should be very proud of yourselves. Give yourselves a round of applause for being so honest and brave. That is amazing. All right, so I am breaking all the rules. My dad would say, you should never go up there with a pen and paper. I am breaking the rules. I am up here with a pen and paper. One of the big questions I always get is, how is it being Les Brown's daughter? And so it's really a strange question, so I'm thinking it's really normal. This is, of course, before the age of reality TV shows and things like that. I'm like, it's normal. But I didn't realize how weird we were until I went to a college roommate's Thanksgiving. So let me just give you a background of who I am and what we have. My dad has 9 kids. It's a completely unconventional family, and we all are his biological children. He says that, the Bible says, what does the Bible say? The Bible says, be fruitful and multiply. And he says he took it seriously. He did. That's the one Bible verse. He was like, yes, this is a good one. So with that being said, for Thanksgiving, as you can imagine, we have 9 kids. Then we all have our children. Then we have our husbands, our boyfriends, what have you. And so it's about 20, I'm not telling the truth. About 40 of us who, come, 40 or 50 of us. Sometimes there are fans who also wiggle their way in. And so for Thanksgiving, my father, as you can imagine, what are you grateful for? Now, if I had just simply said life or health, to kind of speed the process along, that's when you get ridiculed. Because he wants a speech And again, this is the world's #1 motivational speaker. So we cannot just hold hands and say, I'm grateful for life. Well, what do you mean, baby? What part of life are you grateful for? Oh my goodness. So we're looking at the food, and the steam is like, it keeps leaving. I'm thinking the food is going to be cold by the time we all go around the room. I knew we were strange when I went to Buffalo, New York, and it was Thanksgiving, and my friend's father said, let's eat. That's it? Like, I was completely prepared to give a speech. So back to our Thanksgiving, again, just saying 1 or 2 words doesn't work, but we're also talking 40 people. So even if we did 30 seconds a piece of a soundbite, that's still 20 minutes of us looking at food sitting on the table. But nonetheless, and then if we say something impactful, then of course the sibling next to me has to say something better than what I said, right? So in terms of what it's like being Les Brown's daughter, that is one example. Thanksgivings are forever. I understand now why I like lukewarm food, because by the time we finish, there is a line to the microwave wrapping all around the kitchen. And I'm like, nope, I like lukewarm food. Just give it to me like this. Another example of what it's like to be Les Brown's daughter, and then I'll move into my presentation. We don't argue fair. I am the youngest daughter, so, we didn't fight. Like, we didn't have fist fights or anything. But I do hear people say, hey, I had to fight my way and, let people know. Well, we didn't have to fight, but I did have to learn how to argue and debate. And so I didn't realize that was a problem until my husband and I ended up in counseling. He's like, she does not fight fair. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? I thought that every time someone fights, they use a quote, a scripture, a statistic to back it up. I didn't realize that, people say, oh, screw you, I don't like you anymore. That's the end of the debate. That doesn't work for our family. We have to have a reason why we're cutting you off and a Bible verse to support it, and then it goes back and forth. So, in terms of what it's like to be Les Brown's daughter, we are very verbal people, as you can imagine. We don't fight fair, and Thanksgivings last forever. So, I would love for you all to come for Thanksgiving, but again, you'll have to be like me and start loving lukewarm food, because otherwise there'll be a line around the kitchen trying to warm up the food after we're all finished talking about what we're grateful for. All right, so moving on to today. I'm not going to say anything to you that you've never heard. Nothing's going to come out that, it's going to fall fresh and you go, oh, I've never heard that before. But my hope is that maybe you hear it differently from me than you've heard it from someone else. Just like when I read some of the authors in the book, there was something that you said that resonated with me. And I've seen this stuff all the time. And honestly, and Robert can tell you, I don't do forwards if I don't like the book. I just don't. I'll say, oh, I'll be praying for you. Good luck in your future endeavors, But if it does not hit, if it does not resonate, I won't do it. But this book resonated. So I'm not going to say it. Nothing's going to hit differently because I'm Les Brown's daughter. And I'm also not Les Brown. How about that? But I do want to connect with you today and encourage you to not play small. Let me hear you say, don't play small.
Don't play small.
Let me hear you say it again. Don't play small.
Don't play small.
All right, repeat after me, please. I want more.
I want more.
I want more. One of the things I think of when I think of I want more, first of all, write this down. Make it happen. Make it happen. And in order to make it happen, you've got to do something. And that means you've got to do something it's not even that hard to do. You've got to move. Let me hear you say move.
Move.
Oh, you can do it better than that. Let me hear you say move.
Move.
So some of us want more money. We want more notoriety. We want more friends, whatever that is. But you have to move. You have to make a move in the direction of your goals, of your dreams. It's almost, I remember my mom would say, Serena, you need to clean up. This room won't clean up itself. You've heard that before, right? And that's the same with your goals. I mean, you can wish, you can hope and say, oh man, I can see it. I can feel it. Oh, I feel the anointing all over me. But if you don't move, that goal is going to sit right there on that piece of paper. So you absolutely have to move. And you have to think, what do you want more of? What do you want? What do you want more of? Of course, we've had plenty of speakers today that have presented some excellent ideas. And I mean, Bruce, I have a whole page of his notes. I mean, thank the Lord for him. I may have to get his little program and then barter something at the end of the day. But what do you want more of? And what can you do right now to move in the direction of your life? If you've been thinking about writing a book, then that means take a few notes now. Like, not just like, oh, I'm thinking about writing this book. It's going to be big. Is it? Like, what can you do right now? If you're working on repairing a relationship, don't just talk about it. Don't just hope that someone's going to call you and apologize. What can you do right now? Perhaps you could just send a little text message. Hey, just thinking of you. I know you're not liking me right now, but just wanted to let you know I love you. Those when you get those text messages, you're like, man, they about to apologize. But think of what you can do right now. And if you want more money, playing the lottery is not going to do it. It just absolutely will not work. You have to look at what you can do right now. Let me hear you say move.
Move.
Excellent. Let's move to O. Write down O, opportunities. O is for opportunities. Look for opportunities everywhere. And I think that some of you all have taken advantage of that, which is opportunities in your pain, opportunities in your victory, in your hurts, in your struggles. Opportunities, as we know, they're hidden, but they're brilliantly disguised as challenges and opportunities. So you have to make sure you take opportunities. There are times that I've asked myself, what's at my fingertips? But prior to that, I was trying to read books on, okay, I'm going to read this book that's going to really stimulate my thinking, and I'm going to take my life to a whole new level. And all those books, it was nice to read them. But it didn't do anything for me. I had to look at what was around me, what was at my fingertips. And so that's what you all have to do for yourself, is to look at opportunities, see what's at your fingertips, and see what you can take on right now. For instance, when I graduated from college, we were in the middle of the Great Recession. Do you all remember the Great Recession? That was a scary time. We didn't know. Some people were losing their homes. People were losing their jobs left and right. It was a very scary time. And my husband and I, we were looking for ways in which we could save money because we both like to eat. And we were like, well, we shouldn't go out to eat for steak and lobster every other day, so we got to figure life out. So one of the things that we did is we challenged ourselves to learn how to cook the way that we enjoyed at the restaurant. When we finally realized that things were going well when we would have a family cookout, and family members who hadn't spoke to each other in years were like, yeah, well, we're here. Like, you're looking at the other family. Don't tell her I'm over here, but I'm here, and I'm not here making any. I don't want no beef or anything, but I am here for the steak. And we're like, oh, wait a minute. Y'all haven't talked to each other in years, and we're all in the same room together for our food? So that's when we knew we had something going. I don't know if my bio is anywhere around, but my husband and I also have a restaurant, a carry-out style restaurant, and that was as a result of us just simply cooking. We wanted to save money. And then all of a sudden people are coming over, and people are silly when they come over. They're like, man, y'all should charge for this. Well, you can leave a little something on the way out. No, I ain't leaving no money. I'm just saying you can charge for this. So now we started charging. Now they call, well, what's up with the family discount? There is no family discount all the times you came to our house to eat. But look for opportunities and think of where are your opportunities right now. They may be in your most scariest areas, your scary place, the conversations you don't really want to have with yourself, but there lies some of your greatest opportunities. And again, with our restaurant, we actually started with a food truck. And I'll tell you quickly, I probably should have brought a picture because you all would go, man, Les Brown's daughter could do better than that. It's not the case. We just decided to use that name, use it as, again, it works out very well. So people see me and they're like, ugly black truck, just like, yeah, it works. It absolutely works. But when you're looking at opportunities, who would have thought that insult would have become a part of our name. And it's a good part of the name too. Like, I love saying it, and it works good for us. Because when something breaks, we don't fix it. It's like, oh, they're like, your roof is leaking. Oh, it's cool. It's the ugly black truck, baby. As long as we pass health inspection, we are straight. That's all I care about. So it works in our favor. So again, say opportunities.
Opportunities.
All right, so you're looking for opportunities everywhere. And again, as Les Brown's daughter, I never wanted to admit my struggles with low self-esteem and emotional low places. And, again, people are like, that's not possible. Les Brown's children, we're not exempt from emotion. But it actually is. And also, as a result of that, I took my hurt, I took my pain, and decided, talking to adults, that's fine, but that's what my dad does. He does that the best. But I could talk to kids. I could talk to some kids, amen. I could talk to kids and let them know that no matter what happens in your life, you're perfect, all is well, you're beautiful. Because I realize, as you all probably know from dealing with some kids aren't as happy as they used to be. Do you notice that? I mean, you can smile at a kid and say hi, and they look at you and you're like, yikes! Don't start none, won't be none. And so I say it jokingly, but I also realize that some kids don't have parents like we had, and they don't have the neighbors that we had, and so they don't have the parent that will call up to the school, or the school will call home, and then you'll see the parent the very next day. And so some children are dealing with a lot of hurt, they're dealing with a lot of pain, they're being born to some families that you go, y'all need not to have kids ever again. And so, we have a lot of hurting children. So what I did do with some of my pain, and this is in your opportunities, is I took the opportunity to look at what was bothering me, what I needed to work through, and decided, well, let me talk to kids and let me write some children's books that can resonate with children so that they know that they are still special in spite of what they're going through. And books that can highlight, everyone doesn't have a mom that's at work and dad who's also at work and grandma in the kitchen picking berries. Sometimes mom is in jail, dad is gone, and grandma may be on the street corner. So where do those kids look to for inspiration? There's nothing out there. So thankfully, carefully with a few doctors and psychologists, we started to create a series to make sure that kids were good. Kids who have low self-esteem, that they find themselves in the pages of the book and go, oh, this applies to me. And I can make it as a result of that. So moving on, and I know I'm going to be way, way ahead of my time. There's no way I'm filling up all that time. But again, there are opportunities everywhere. And if I weren't hurt, if I didn't have anything that I was dealing with, then I would not have found my inner strength. And I wouldn't have found my inner strength to even be here today. But I would not have found my inner strength to be here to say that I'm proud to be a best-selling children's author. And I don't say that for any admiration or anything like that. But you have to look at taking the opportunities that happen in your life, the goods, the bad, the ugly, and see what you can do to make an impact and to help someone. The other thing about opportunity, say opportunity.
Opportunities.
It's not going to have stars around it. It's not going to have roses and happy music and like a little icon saying, here I am, I'm an opportunity. It won't do that at all. They are hidden. So that means you've got to dig deep. Someone say dig deep.
Dig deep.
You've got to dig deep. And you've got to go, as I mentioned before, into some scary places. And my sister, who's also a motivational speaker, Ona Brown, she's right there behind the sister with the red. Ona says, if you're in your comfort zone, you're in your danger zone. You may as well write that down. If you're in your comfort zone, you are in your danger zone. So make sure that you are getting uncomfortable in life altogether. If you're comfortable, no ma'am, no sir. It's time to get uncomfortable. Let someone say, get uncomfortable.
Get uncomfortable.
All right, write down O again. And this will be for optimism. We have to be optimistic about life. There's so much around us, so much media around us that tells us that we're not going to make it, that we're fat, we're ugly. I mean, just all this silly stuff that we watch and we don't realize that, we're taking it in. but we have to practice optimism. You have to retrain your brain, and it may feel like a lie, but when things go wrong, my brother John Leslie, who has on the red glasses, he says when things go wrong, don't go with them. I'll say it again, when things go wrong, don't go with them. You may as well write that down. That's quotable, that's tweetable, because sometime in life things go wrong, and it's a snowball effect, and by the time you figure everything out, you are curled up in the bed crying. And I have been curled up real good. Not eating and not drinking. The only good thing that comes from that, I look in the mirror and go, dang, that was a little bit away from that. Like, maybe depression wasn't that bad. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But when things go wrong, don't go with them. You have to retrain your brain to make sure that you are being optimistic about life. Have you ever noticed that if you're in a group laughing, someone comes over and says, well, what's so funny? What are you guys laughing about? And I'm like, well, I didn't think we needed a permission slip to be happy. So you realize there are so many people who are not optimistic. You can tell someone a vision, a goal of yours, and maybe the first thing they do is tell you how it's not possible. We've all experienced that. So then you keep it to yourself, and then after that, you do nothing with it, and you sit on it. No, you have to be optimistic and have other optimistic people around you. So with my brothers and sisters, we'll bounce an idea off of one another, and if I don't get the answer that I want from you, then I'll look at someone else and say, well, tell me what you think. And we just keep on moving and working it and then you get ideas. You get other ideas from people who say, oh, well, you know what, that's a good idea, but why don't you add this? And by the time we finish, we have a full blueprint. So if you don't have friends and family in your life that you can ask for advice from, and you don't walk away with a blueprint, we've got to find some new friends and family members for you. That's the benefit of being here today, that you're around like-minded people who are looking to make an impact in the community, an impact in their business and their bottom line. And so I'm going to feed off of you. You're going to feed off of him. I mean, there's so much power in this one room, and you've got to be around optimistic people. All right? All right, I'm moving on, and I can hear my dad now. I cannot believe you had And speaking of my father, I will say that he is the king of optimism. And you can probably guess that based off of everything that he has ever told you. Leap, grow your wings on the way down. It's possible. Life has no limitations except the ones you make. And you're like, no, sometimes, Dad, that doesn't work for everyone. So I'll give you an example. I don't go anywhere with him anymore. And the reason being is he always never has cash. And he's so good at how he does this. So, I mean, we've been at the store before, and the cashier will say, well, this is $80. And he'll give him $50. Okay, Dad, it's not possible, man. You are $30 short. Dad, why don't we put some things back? And he'll go, baby, you have possibility blindness. I'm not taking anything out this cart. Make it happen. And he'll walk away. And I'm like, oh my gosh. You just told me I had possibility blindness? That's number one. Number two, you walked away, and now the cashier's looking at me like, what you gonna do? I'll give the $30. And I'm like, I don't know if this is optimism or if I just got hustled, but either way, it worked. Because he walked out that store, and I mean, he didn't leave the items there and say, baby, you have possibility blindness. He grabbed them with him, like, yo, make it happen, figure it out. Dad, no. So I've learned now, I don't go to the store with him anymore. He says, you want to go to the store? Nope, there's nothing I need. I'm not getting hustled. I'm not saying it's possible. If you don't have the money, you better put something back, period. But that's how optimistic he is. I mean, seriously, well, that is actually a true story. But that is how optimistic he is. I mean, he has no fear. So you guys love him for a reason, because he seriously practices what he preaches. And thank goodness we've never been arrested in Walgreens. From him just walking out talking about, figure it out and make it happen. Right. So nonetheless, and I'm only laughing because I just remember me standing like, oh my goodness. Now, let me pause at that story too. By the way, he's not normal when he goes to stores. You know, he'll go and go, hello, how are you? My name is Les Brown. What's your name? What's your goal? Dad, we are here for Nobody's trying to talk about their goals. We're in the egg aisle. Baby, you never know how you can impact someone's life. And then we go to the cashier and you're short on cash. Man, listen. You better go get some money for that person you were talking to about their goals. And that is also a true story. So if you see him in the store and you don't feel like talking, go the other way. By the time you finish, he's asking you your goals, your dreams. You're probably crying tears. And you have a blueprint for your life. All right, we're moving on to our next point. The next point is renew your mind. Renew your mind. Uh-oh, did somebody already talk about that? Then I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it. What'd she say about renewing your mind? What'd she say?
You got a treat on it.
Amen. All right, tell me your name. Oh, and I was probably in the airport. I had a horrible flight, by the way. But nonetheless, I'm here. All right, so renew your mind. Well, I'm not going to touch it because y'all said, woo! So I know I have nothing more to add. Let's say woo for Ruth again. 1, 2, 3. Woo! But more importantly, renew your mind. So obviously, if someone has already said that, then it's a very important point. And one of the things that I remember, my dad told a story one time. There was a lumber company who they were chopping down trees. And all of a sudden, production, they had the same amount of employees. People were coming in at the same time. And all of a sudden, production was slowing down. And it's like, well, why? You know, we still have the same equipment. The issue was, the man hired this firm to figure out what was going on with production and why were the trees not being cut down as quickly as possible. They spent $100,000. You know how you call in a consultant and it's like really, really expensive. They spent over $100,000 to figure out what was going on, hired more people. Production was still just mediocre. And they found out that the company needed to do one thing, and that was sharpen the axe. So that's what renewing your mind does. That's what conferences like this do. That's what books that Robert J. Moore and all of you all as authors, that's what that does. It sharpens your axe. Your axe is your mind. And you need to renew it. And you need to go to Ruth's conference. When's the conference, Ruth?
In Vernon, D.C.
All right, fair enough. Well, we need to figure that out so we can all go renew our mind with Sister Ruth. All right, and then we will move to our last point, and that is energy. You have to have a sense of energy about yourself. If you have a goal and a dream, you've got to pursue it like your life depends on it. So, for instance, if I ask you, what are you doing? What's your goal? What's your dream? You can't say, well, you know, I'm trying. I've been looking, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, but I think I'm going to try to move. No, that energy doesn't work. You have to have energy that can excite someone. Energy that, you have to have the kind of energy that when you go somewhere and you present your product or your service, if you get a no, you're going to go, did you just tell me no? No is amazing because no gets you closer to a yes. We know, and you have to also make no your vitamin. You're going to get a no a lot. You're going to get lots of no's. But if you have a sense of energy about you, there are times that people will buy from you just because of your energy. Have you ever bought for someone, you go, I don't need this not one bit, but your energy was contagious. Has anyone ever done that before?
Yes.
Yeah. So your energy, when you are selling your product, your service, presenting yourself, presenting your idea, anything about life, it has to be contagious. So we're going to do something real quick. Well, I'm going to say, when I say I want, you say more, okay? And you're going to follow me, okay? Now, first of all, let's do our homework again. What was the first M? Let's see how much you all were paying attention.
Move.
Move. Excellent. What was the O?
Opportunities.
What was the other O?
Optimism.
What was the R?
Renew your mind.
And what's the E?
Energy.
And I did not misspell more. We are giving honor to Robert J. Moore. Let's give him another round of applause. to thank him for this opportunity. All right, let's go back to our assignment. I'm going to say, when I say I want, you're going to say you want. More. All right, you're paying attention. When I say I want, you say more. I want more. I want more. When I say I want, you say more. I want more. I want more. I want more. Fantastic. Now I believe you. Now I believe you. That's the energy you need. That's the energy we need to go after our goals and a dream. Robert J. Moore, I certainly appreciate you and this opportunity to share the stage. I'm still under my time, and I'm going to walk away and say like Les Brown, figure it out, buddy.
What do you think? Hang on, you guys. We're going to show you how to fill out that time.
Oh, no.
Guess what we're going to do? Okay, because of the fact that everybody in this room came today, normally I just do it for the elite and the VIP, but everybody can line up, get a picture. Where's it?
You're not leaving me up here by myself,
You'll have somebody, each individual. You know, but she was sitting there at that low point of time. Now, as a therapist, I could read the tone, right? I read the tone. I could tell there was something wrong. I let it go for a few days. And I go reading and digging again. And I knew there was something going on. She was just starting a new business. I know what that's about. Believe me, I was pulling my hair out putting this together. Right? And then I said, I wanted the force. She goes, well, I can't get a hold of my dad. And I said, what about your dad? I want you. What did you say after you read the book, though? You told me you said you were in tears.
I was absolutely in tears. And like I said earlier, I don't just give forwards haphazardly. Like I read every single word. Yeah. I read every single word.
Guys, to be honest with you, guess what? She also did a chapter with some of the other girls here, which will be launching tomorrow morning. Not stopping one trip, she's looking forward on that one, and the one you did it for is coming out next month.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah, and I had a deadline. I absolutely missed the deadline. I mean, he was being smooth. Like I said, he's like a smooth operator. So he goes, hey, at your convenience, just let me know where we are with your forward. And I'm like, well, actually, I'm really reading, like, I'm only on chapter 3, but I have like a lot more chapters to go. It was amazing. So all the authors, I'm actually a fan of you at this point, and I'm going to get the book here and have you all, if you're here, I want your autograph, because seriously, I so appreciated you all and you sharing your stories. And I mean, seriously, I'm not going to cry, but I feel it coming. You know how you feel your nose kind of so I'm going to try to do this quickly, but I appreciate the transparency, and because of you all now, I am now far more transparent in my delivering and who I am. So I appreciate you.